Yo, where my OG subscribers at? If you are an OG, you probably know where we at right now, where the background is, but that's besides the point of the video. Um, the point of this video is you can't do much, King, but build your kingdom. You know, it's a Monday. It's a Monday motivation. You know, I wasn't gonna make this video here, just keeping it full, transparent, authentic with y'all as I intend to do with this channel. And the reason being is, you know, I just wasn't in the best state today mentally, but you know, here we are showing up. Here we are making a video. I want to say shout out to my brother Kills. He the one that, you know, helped pump some words of inspiration in me to want to hop on here and make this video today. And that is to bring the message of the video today, which is we can't do much but build our kingdom. You know, sometimes in life, we may be in that 11th, 12th round in the fight. We may be in the early rounds of the fight. We might have just got knocked down in the fight, but all you could do is get back up in the fight and continue to build. All you could do is continue to move forward, because we understand that where we were got us to where we are. Let me say that again. We understand that where we were got us to where we are. So sometimes, you know, in the fight, sometimes in life, you know, you may be wanting to push that give up button. You may be wanting to push that let go button. You may be wanting to push that button of let me stay down. Let me just tap out. Let me just give up on this dream. Let me just give up on this vision that God put in my heart. Let me just give up on, you know, what I feel like God is telling me is for me. Right? But sometimes we might say that, hey, you know, I'm beefing with God at this moment. You know, I got to the point where it was like, man, maybe me and God beefing right now. You know, you telling me to do all these things. You telling me to seek the kingdom first and its righteousness. You telling me to stay pure. You telling me to stay healthy. But yeah, I'm not reaping the benefits of that. You know, you might be in the in-between stages. You might be in the stages where God is saying, be patient on your journey, King. You might be in the stages where, you know, you have a vision for certain things and you're doing the work for certain things, but you're in that in-between spot of saying, hey, you know, where's it at? Where's it at, God? You know, I'm trying to be obedient. I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to be righteous. All these different things, right? And things might not just be looking how they should in your eyes be looking for you. But all I can say through that, man, all I can say is all we could do is get up and go harder. All we could do is continue to put the work in. Now, I know sometimes, you know, when you're at this position in life, you don't want to hear more of the inspirational, motivational messages or the different things like that. But sometimes you just need to hear it in a different way. You know, sometimes it may need to resonate a little different, because, you know, the beauty of it is that, you know, us as kings, man, we find solace, we find peace in the grind, we find peace in building, in creating our kingdom, right? And at the end of the day, you know, a lot of things that we may be desiring, whether it's a specific, you know, relationship with a woman, whether it's a specific, you know, job and certain you know, certain things that you're doing on that every day, doing something that you love, doing something that you're passionate about, whether it's having a certain body and feeling a certain way about your health and fitness and different things like that. And, you know, we may want to have these things now, but the thing is, you know, it takes discipline and work and self-love to keep those things. You know, this is where it comes to building our kingdom, because even though, you know, you may be gifted certain things, you may be given certain things on your journey, to keep those things, to continue to build those things, to continue to expand those things, you must continue to build your kingdom. You must continue to seek first the king and his righteousness, because sometimes, you know, like I said, on the journey, you may want to crash out. You may want to say, man, what's it all worth? You know, it's not happening yet, so I might as well go back to our old way of living. But honestly, that's just the old patterns, the old habits, the old ideologies, the old false way of thinking coming back into your life now. And, you know, we understand that, you know, certain hardships and things that we may have experienced in life up until this point has come from that broken way of thinking, has come from, you know, seeking lust and seeking pleasures and seeking things of the flesh rather than the spirit. So then we get to the point to where, you know, this is kind of like, this just hit me, but this is kind of like, you know, when you in the desert again, you know, after you've been exiled from slavery, after you've been, you know, removed from all the idolatry and all the things, you could be in that desert and you may have, you know, you may have desires to want to go back. You may want to go back to, you know, the slavery and all that type of stuff, because you may feel that's better than the desert. You know, a lot of times, you know, the slavery might seem better than the desert, but God didn't promise you the desert. God promised you the promised land. So the only thing that you could do is keep the vision towards the promised land, keep the faith and the trust towards that vision. And, you know, you have to realize, like, You know, it's always going to be quote unquote different deserts or different journeys in our life. You know, you may have experienced the promised land in one area of life, got knocked back, got put back into slavery because of your habits and your decisions, and now you know, you on another path in the desert again towards the promised land. Or this may have happened in, again, one area of life. This may have happened in your relationships, but you know, in your wealth, you're doing well, you're already in the promised land, or vice versa, right? So you know, it's not about all life being the same at every point of moment, but you know, being able to separate different aspects of your life and recognize where you are in the journey is very important. And you know, you may be in all aspects of your life, you know, in that middle stage, but you know, if you could just keep that vision towards the promised land, if you could just hold the vision tight of what God said he has for you, you know, if you can continue to show up, if you continue to put the work in, if you continue to try to become the best version of yourself, if you continue to try to become better, try to become, you know, the best version of yourself, the only thing that's going to do, you know, let's not say, only thing that's going to do, bro, is get you closer to the vision rather than farther away. You know, I was about to say that the only thing that's going to do is, even if God doesn't give you what he promised, you know, you'll still end up with something very good. But that's the thing, man. If God promised it to you, it is for you. And that sometimes is hard to hear. You know, if God's promised something for you, then it's for you. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's the truth. And you know, the doubt, the demons, the fears that creep in that say that's not the truth, that's what we gotta fight. You know, that's what the fight is against. You know, the fight is a fight against your disbelief. Shout out to Nip Hustle. So the only thing that we could do is go harder, because at the end of the day, you know, when we build our kingdom, when we become the men that we're designed to be, when we become the best version of ourselves, only thing that does is it increases the responsibility that we take on. Because you know, as we begin to build, as we begin to have the millions of dollars, as we begin to have the wives and the families and the you know, communities, and become community leaders, the only thing that does is it puts more pressure on us, it builds us even more. So you know, we need to be grateful in our times of isolation. We need to be grateful in our times where God is building us to become the men that we're designed to be, because you know, during this time is where we really build the foundation and the strength and the rock in God, in our Savior, to go out in the world and be like, okay, now, you know, when something happens to other people, they can come to me and I can be that rock. But if you constantly, you know, shaking, if you constantly, you know, swayed in your belief, if you constantly, you know, not holding the vision in certain areas of your life, then it's going to be hard for you to stand when, you know, more pressure and more things are added on to you. You know, God has to be able to trust you with the hearts of the many, you know, and by you seeking his face, by you continuously going hard, by you continuously staying in the fight, by you continuously not getting knocked down, getting back up, only thing that's doing is proving to God that you're worthy, proving to God that you're worth it. And I'm not gonna get too deep in this video on how that relates to internally in our mindset and different things like that, but let's just take God as, you know, our own consciousness. Let's just take God as our own subconscious beliefs of what we feel we can do, right? So when we think of, you know, God saying we're worthy, it's not saying that he's withholding blessings from us. It's just us proving to ourselves that we can handle certain things. So then when certain things are given to us in our life, we can best manage them. And the only way we tell that is from our results. So, you know, you tell how good you've been able to manage things based on how you've managed things in the past. And, you know, you'll show how well you're able to manage things based on how you manage what's given to you in the future. But what if you're in the middle? What if you don't really have much to hold on to? What if you don't have much that's tangible? What if you don't have nothing but a dollar in a dream, as J. Cole like to say? You know, in those moments, what do? Do you fold? Do you stay down? Do you get down? Do you know, you take that punch and you stay on the ground, and then you crawl back to the pit? You know, you crawl back to where you was. You know, you crash out. You go back to your old way of living because it's more comfortable, because it's something that you used to, because it's something that, you know, is comfortable? Or do you remember that God had already pulled you through that, and maybe it's just a little bit longer, maybe it's just 10 more steps? You know, we got to realize that the Israelites, they spent 40 years in the desert when it could have took 40 days to get to the promised land, you know, geographically speaking, right? So, you know, they spent 40 years died in the desert because they murmured, because they complained, because they didn't keep pushing, because they, you know, thought maybe it'll go better, maybe backtracked a little bit and then went forward, you know. But let's just say, you know, we stay steadfast. Let's just say we stay relentless and we keep looking towards that kingdom, and we just say, man, God got it for me, bro. God got it for me, bro. God got it for me, bro. And just remember where he pulled you out from already. You know, you might be in that transition period, you may be in that isolation period, you may be coming from, you know, one place going to the next place, but keep believing in the next place being there, even though right now it might be dry, even though right now it may be quiet, even though right now you may be isolated, you may be feeling alone. Just look around you. Be present in the moment, and seek it within him, right? That's the whole point of that journey and that isolation, is to seek his peace, seek his righteousness, seek his love. And he'll give you the desires of your heart. He'll give you these things on your journey. He'll give you what you need. He'll give you the water. He's not gonna let you die out there. Basically, like, that's what the devil try to do. It's like, oh, I'm gonna die out here in the desert, I'm gonna die out here in the wilderness, so I need to go back to captivity to get fed. And that's not true. You just need to be present. You just need to take some deep breaths. You just need to look around. You just need to get resourceful. It's never about the resources that we have at any given time. It's about our level of resourcefulness, which comes from our mindset. So hope this was encouraging to anybody out there, man. Like I said, I didn't want to make this video, and I feel like I haven't thought about anything I'm gonna say in this video since I pushed the record button. I'm just kind of letting God speak through me. I'm just kind of letting God deliver the message that he wants to deliver to his people at this time. And I feel like this is my purpose, and for me to continue to pump encouraging words, or pump messages that can help or inspire or move someone closer towards their promised land in their life. That's what I'm put here to do, and I will continue to do that. And me doing this is going to lead to more interpersonal happiness, more interpersonal joy. Putting this message out is ultimately gonna let me feel better. This is gonna lead to momentum to the next task that I'm gonna do to help people and serve. And that's what we here to do, man. That's what we're here to do. A lot of times when we experience negative emotions, when we're not feeling the best in the moment, is because we're thinking too much about ourselves. We're thinking too selfish. We're thinking too about our own feelings. And at the end of the day, that's not who God has called us to be as men, as leaders, as kingdom leaders one day, and like put into positions of power. It's not to be selfish. The greatest leaders of all time are selfless leaders, are leaders that think about the humanity, about others more than they think about themselves. And then through that process of thinking about others, thinking about themselves, God gonna fill your cup. God gonna fill you up. God gonna make sure you good. Just take care of his people. Because at the end of the day, the ones that stay in the fight, the ones that can keep getting knocked down and keep getting back up, and have people talk bad about you, and you lose friends, and you lose relationships, and you lose certain business opportunities, and you lose money, and you lose houses, and you lose things, and you go through pain, you go through suffering, you go through trials and tribulations in life. The people that can continue to get back up, those prove themselves as God's strongest soldiers, so then they can be given more, onto who has, even more will be given. So, as long as we continue to cultivate that strength, cultivate, who we're destined to be, now God can trust us with more. Now he can put more into our hands. Now he can, allow us to carry the burden of more. And then, we'll reap that in our futures, because that's the word he put on our hearts. That's the word that to be true. That's the word, that the vision that God gave you. That's the dreams that you got at night. When you see it, when you see the possibility, when that it's happening, that's directly from God. So all we have to do is stay in the fight. Don't crash out. Don't go back to where you came from because it's more comfortable, because it's easier. But just stay in the fight, stay in the middle, stay in the desert, stay in the moment where it's getting a little hot, where the pressure is a little intense, and then just put in more work. Just go a little bit harder. Just do what you think you should do, just a little bit more. Just keep staying with it. If you got to go through the motions, you got to go through the motions. Sometimes it's gonna be robotic of what you feel like you got to go through, but remember the bigger plan, remember the bigger picture, and focus on yourself, King. At the end of the day, a lot of times, like I said, this could be, you could be going through things with other people, with other things, with outside of you, with circumstances, with life in general. But, the big thing is to focus on you and focus on your kingdom, because at the end of the day, you have to be that rock. You have to build the foundation. Nobody's going to build it for you. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you that it's not there. The only thing others are able to do, this is specifically for kings, so if a wife, she's gonna be able to come add to what you already have. She's gonna be able to come into your kingdom and build that even more. But as far as like building something from the ground with you, you gotta already have something tangible to build. And I'm talking character here. We're not necessarily saying materialistic things. You know, we talking character development, character growth, becoming stronger versions of our godly character, becoming more righteous and godly men. So, you know, at the end of the day, that foundation has to be laid and set for, you know, a righteous woman or a godly woman to come into our lives, or godly people to help build that business, or you know, the right people to help you build your vision and your business and your things of that nature, or, you know, certain friend groups or certain environments. You know, you have to be already building that foundation within yourself, and then all this should be added. You know, that's the big picture of that word. So this felt good to get out. You know, this felt good to speak about, and just bringing that full circle, because that's truly, you know, where the work is laid. So just continue to do the work you think is necessary. You know, you may not have it all figured out. You know, none of us do. You know, we can just constantly learn every day. We can just constantly gain more wisdom. We can just constantly hit the gym and get more strength. We can just constantly, you know, build our resources up, because, you know, shout out to Jim Rohn, but all these things are not for what you will gain. It's not for the money. It's not for the power. It's not for, you know, necessarily the big muscles, but it's for who you become mentally, you know, who this transcends an identity of, and breaking the limits and beliefs of who you were into who you were destined to be. So hope that makes sense, man. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, comment what you want to see next, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will catch all y'all in the next one. Peace.